Well, this is Severe Weather Awareness Week. That's right, Severe Weather Awareness Week. And that declaration from the National Weather Service, Nebraska Emergency Management, and the Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Division.
Meteorologists here at KMTV are working to make sure you know about any severe weather that could be coming and what you can do to be prepared and stay safe.
From Action 3 News, meteorologist Matt Monroe. Good to see you, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Always.
Good to see you, too.
I heard you have a trick for it.
How can I follow up that magician?
You
I mean,
can't.
he was
It's
pretty
tough to do,
amazing.
but you have your own magic,
Well, I
right?
had one of
You have
these. Where's the
technology.
camera? Can we get tight
Wait,
over here with
well-
Jake here? Are we ready? Just focus on the hands. Look at the magical hands.
Those are
All right,
the
do
hands of
this.
a meteorologist
Do this
right
kind of
there.
abracadabra now. Okay, there you see my thumb right here. Now
It's a
watch what
long
happens. It is a long thumb.
Very long.
Listen, don't make fun of my heritage of long thumbs. Oh,
Wow.
how do I do it?
Wow.
Oh my,
Matt?
oh, jeez.
My
oh,
mind.
That is more amazing than anything I've ever seen, buddy.
Woo!
You okay? Wow.
You know, I did that for Nate in the green room.
Yeah.
It just blew his
Did
mind.
he
I'm
offer
sure,
a
yeah.
spot as his opening act?
Well,
Was
we're
he
talking
that
about
impressed?
Well, you
that.
gotta
Having my
negotiate that.
agent talk to his agent.
Exactly.
But next time, I'm going to tell him how I do it.
I'd
But
like
for
where this is
now, we're
heading.
still in negotiations.
And let's stick to weather, to be honest with you.
We
Matt.
can do that,
That's good
yeah.
stuff. But it's kind of ironic because the weather we've had this week, it shows just about anything can happen this time of year.
Just about anything in 2 or 3 days. I mean, we had the high winds, 50-mile-an-hour winds, hail, lightning, thunderstorms, near blizzard conditions just up to the north of town. So that's in the course of 24 to 48 hours. Pretty amazing stuff. This was pictures actually from western Nebraska a couple of days ago. Whiteout conditions. They had Interstate 80 shut down between Kearney and the Wyoming state line.
Wow.
So that was just to our west and
In
to our
late
north.
March.
In late March.
This isn't early January.
But that's not
true.
unheard of, though.
Not
I just-
unheard
yeah.
of. And we just kind of dodged a bullet here in the Omaha Metro. We had the winds, the rain, the thunder, the lightning, the hail, but for the most part, no snow here. Just to the north, though, a lot of snow in places like Sioux Falls.
Yesterday I was sitting at my desk and I hear a familiar sound. And we were emphasizing there's nothing to be concerned about right now, but they're
Right.
testing the sirens. But it is a good reminder about being prepared and taking the time now to devise a plan. So what would you say to families? What should they have in their plan, whether it's for home or work?
Well, first of all, the number one thing is you want to have a safe spot designated before the storm. While it's going on, while you're under tornado warning, you don't want to try and figure out where to put yourself or your family.
You want everybody to know where
You
to
want
go.
everybody to know. A little group meeting, maybe around the dinner table, nothing to scare the kids, but just to say, hey, you know, if we do have a tornado warning, this is where mom and dad want you to go. And it should be basically interior section of the house, really in a basement or a storm shelter if you have one. Otherwise, the lowest level of the home, the centermost room, no windows, get away from those. And we're thinking hallways, closets, and bathrooms. A great place is actually the bathroom because you have piping that surrounds that room. It's almost acting like rebar, a little more structure to keep that room safer. A great place, and I'm not making a joke here, is the bathtub. You get in the bathtub, you take a blanket or a pillow, put it on top of yourself, and you've got yourself a little fort in protection because when a tornado hits, stuff's going to come down no matter what room you're in. And then in a basement, a lot of times we say southwestern corner because typically most tornadoes, not all, but most, hit from the southwest. Then they take the debris and push it to the northeast. So if you're closest to the corner where that storm hits, the debris would go over your head in theory and land in the middle or the other end of the basement and away from you.
Yeah.
Some good information.
It
on
is,
that.
and it's important because you don't always think about that stuff. But I covered the tornado in Howlem, 15 years ago,
that was a big one.
There was a couple
Yeah.
that were stuck in the basement. I was there the next day with our camera crews, and they had a crawl space that they survived because they were in the corner of the basement, and they survived the tornado. But you guys have been talking about different weather topics this week. I've been watching, and you guys have had some good topics. What have you been talking about?
Well, we talked about, first of all, watch versus a warning, because a lot of people don't realize that we're under a watch. We're not necessarily in danger at that particular point. So when we're watching for something, literally the conditions are favorable, but they're not quite happening yet. So this is our first graphic here, a watch versus a warning. Watch means conditions favorable, potentially for severe weather. You definitely want to go about your day, but that's when you're thinking about, hey, maybe we will need to shelter later on today or tonight if and when the storms hit. Once the storms actually start cranking up, that's when warnings are issued. Watches are issued by the World Weather Center down in Norman, in Oklahoma, and then locally our National Weather Service in Valley, Nebraska, they would issue the actual warnings as they see fit on their radars. Then we pass them along to you, and if need be, we cut into programming. We never like to disturb your shows. However, when it warrants life and saving lives, we will break in and be as quick as we can. Severe weather is occurring with a warning. Tornado, thunderstorm, high wind, flash flood warnings. Those are all examples of warnings. We have tornado right there on the screen. But that's a watch versus a warning.
You've also covered tornadoes in depth this week. You've covered lightning this week.
Well, these are supercell thunderstorms, and that's what actually spawns a tornado. First of all, to have a thunderstorm, you need lightning in there. Lightning is what creates the thunder because the lightning is so hot, it causes that column of air to expand and crack. So every thunderstorm contains lightning, either cloud to cloud, or the more dangerous form is cloud to ground. Now, the criteria for a severe thunderstorm has nothing to do with lightning because all thunderstorms contain them. Doesn't also contain rain. Now, rain, you get flooding warnings and flooding watches, but for a severe thunderstorm watch or warning to go out, we're looking for hail, inch in diameter, that's about a quarter or bigger, and winds 58 miles an hour or higher. And the dangers here, straight line winds, 100-mile-an-hour downbursts, they hit the ground, they fan out. We have updrafts. Some of those can reach 100 miles an hour, and that's what supports hail to build up. The hailstones start dropping, they hit the updrafts, and that's when they keep building with those strong updrafts. Then you get the downdrafts, then you get the shear, which is a lot going on here in this graphic here, but shear is actually a change in wind direction with speed and height. That's what gives the downdrafts and the updrafts the spin of a tornado. So that's what we're looking for, an updraft or a downdraft without that shear doesn't really do a whole lot.
I want to talk about one thing real quick because you guys got a new toy. Okay, I want to talk about this new toy before your next magic trick. What is this? There's a lot of technology on this thing. Check this out. I had a chance to crawl in this thing the other day.
Were you the one doing donuts in the parking lot with this thing?
They wouldn't give me the keys. No, I just looked in there.
We noticed some tread wear in the tires.
What's some of the technology on board, Matt? Because it's not just like, you know, a pretty face.
No,
it's fully functional.
No, it looks pretty, but it does a lot of stuff too. Basically, it is almost everything we have in our Weather Alert Center on wheels. So you have a meteorologist in here allowing to put eyes on the storm. It's one thing to sit here in the studio and look at radar and get reports of what's happening. It's an entirely different thing to have a trained meteorologist with their eyes on the storm, watching it and actually following it from a safe distance. It has onboard radar. We have multiple cameras. That's one of them right there. We have night vision cameras, infrared cameras, cameras on the meteorologist so they can talk to the folks, cameras that go out ahead of this the mobile unit as well, and also to the rear as well. So we have several different angles here of cameras, including the meteorologist, that we can toggle. We have radars on board so we can safely track and then follow that storm.
I love that.
Really helpful. In some
and it's got lights too, which is always really cool. You need the lights.
You do. If you're pulling over off to the shoulder to cover something,
you want to be safe and allow people to see you.
And that's why we bring this whole idea about Severe Weather Awareness Week. And there's more information on KMTV.com. Matt had some more stuff to show us. We're running out of time. We'll send you to the website so you can learn more about some of those weather events we're sure to experience in the next month.
And unfortunately, we ran out of time for your next magic trick. We'll get to that next time.
Well,
All right,
I was going to make Mary disappear, and I was going to cut you in half, but we'll save that for later.
Yeah, let's save
Those
that
are
one.
my big tricks.
We got 30 minutes of a show left.
For now, we just keep making my thumb chop in half.
Jeremy McComb, he's a singer-songwriter.